Welcome to Summer Solstice. I am officially done with draft 3. Cozy and magical, I feel like, are my words for life. Whew, that got more emotional than I thought it was going to. Good morning and welcome to a new vlog. Welcome to Summer Solstice. It is June 20th. It is the first day of astronomical summer. It's been meteorological summer since the 1st of June. It has felt like summer here in Arizona, southern Arizona, since April. But yes, it is officially summer now. So yay. Y'all know summer is not my favorite holiday. So I get excited for summer solstice because it means we're making progress. We're not quite halfway through the heat, but my favorite thing about summer solstice is that it does mark the longest day of the year. This is the longest the sun will be up, will be today. The sunset time stays the same for the next few days, but tomorrow the sun will rise 1 minute later than it rose today. So tomorrow the day will be 1 minute shorter. And it will get gradually shorter every day after today. And that just makes such a difference for me. I am ready for the days to not be as long. I am ready for the sun to start setting earlier. I think that's been one of the most difficult things about how early I've been going to bed, is like it's barely dark out when I'm turning off the TV and getting up to go get ready for bed. Because like the sun is setting at 7:40, 7:41, something like that. So it's not like getting properly dark until like almost 8:30. So if I'm getting up to get ready for bed at 8:30, like it just feels like there's no nighttime for me. So I'm ready for the sun to start setting at like 6:30 again. It's gonna be a while before it sets at 6:30, but yeah, I'm looking forward to just the days gradually getting shorter again. And like waking up at 5:30, like the sun has been up for, I think the sun's coming up at 5:18. So if I'm waking up at 5:30, it's already getting light out. I'm also looking forward to like having some darkness when I wake up. Like I'm excited because if I can keep this up, waking up at 5:30, 5:45, then for winter solstice, when the sun isn't coming up until after 7 a.m., we can probably do some sunrise hikes. So like that's been huge motivation to stick with waking up early in the morning. I will probably need to get a sunrise lamp for the winter just so that I've got that, but like it will be nice to then come out here and have it be dark, because I do miss darkness, and I'm not getting that much darkness right now with my current sleep schedule and with how bright and how long the days are. So yeah, it's summer solstice. You can probably tell by my old grubby t-shirt, and also my scraped back hair and lack of makeup. We're going for a walk. Last year we went for a hike up at Lynx Lake in Prescott for summer solstice. It's so warm. Even up in Prescott, it's pretty warm. And I think Mom and I are still a bit tired from England. I'm not sure I could do a big hike. So just gonna spend a quiet day here at the apartment for summer solstice this year, but I've got some fun things planned. I want to do like a mid-year check-in type thing with all my start of the year journaling prompts that I did. So I found another one that's a mid-year thing, so we're gonna do that. And yeah, I'll just talk about how the year has been going so far. So it's gonna be a nice, chilled, relaxed day. We will do some book work, we will do some other work, but we'll also spend some time just relaxing and enjoying summer solstice. Starting with an early morning, late sunrise kind of walk around the neighborhood. We'll see how far I can go. I'm tired. I'm not feeling the best, but it's all good. So we'll see how far I can go. We'll see what I can do, and we'll just enjoy the sun and the blue sky and the trees, and just knowing that it is now going to start getting nicer. Every morning is going to start getting nicer as the sun starts coming up just a little bit later. So yeah, so let's get out there and enjoy our walk. Okay, 37 minutes and not quite a mile and a half. It was pretty warm out there, not gonna lie. I got out there a little bit later than I've been doing the last several days, and it really, like, every 15 minutes does matter. So getting out there just 15 minutes later than usual, it will be warmer, especially by the end of the walk. But it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. Not a lot of flowers blooming. Some of the desert stuff that can survive in the heat is blooming, but a lot of the early spring stuff is now gone. Just sad. But yeah, it was good. It felt good to be out there, even though it felt warm. So the mornings will start gradually getting nicer, and if I can be getting out there by like 6:15, I think by like, I looked it up. I have opened a tab on my phone of sunrise times and sunset times. End of July, the sun will be rising at 5:40, so 20 minutes later than it currently is. And by end of August, it will be rising at 6:02. So by the end of August, I could be starting to get out there like just as it's coming up, which means the temperature will be the lowest low of the day. Summer solstice, for me, it's not that we're halfway to the temperatures getting better. Like, it's gonna be warm for a while still. And the morning lows are still going to be pretty warm. But with the sunrise coming up later, it means it's easier for me to get out there closer to sunrise when the temperature is at its lowest. So like, I think this morning the low was 75, but it was already like 80 by the time I got out there. Whereas if I could have gotten out there when it was still 75, it would have felt nicer. But anyway, I'm not gonna stand here rambling. I need to go take a shower and get cleaned up, and then I need to jump on FaceTime. I completely forgot that Tamsin and I were gonna do a call this morning, so thankfully she texted me just as I was going out for my walk to ask, when are we gonna FaceTime? So I need to go get cleaned up, and then I can give her a call while I'm still doing skincare and stuff like that. And yeah, it's only 7:14, so I still have the whole day ahead of me. Although I have a feeling my call with Tamsin is going to take up a good chunk of the morning. We can never do like just a 30-minute call. It's always at least 2 hours, it seems, if not 3 or 4 or 5. But we're going to FaceTime today. So I need to go get showered and cleaned up so that I can give her a call, and I need to eat something and probably do some other things that I'm not thinking of. But yeah, then I will chat with you guys again in a little bit once there is something to actually update you on. But I really don't know what I am talking about right now, so I'm just gonna stop talking. It is now quite a bit later. I was talking with Tamsin for a few hours. We had a lovely chat, lovely catch up, and then I was resting for a little bit, but I need to get some work done. I'm not gonna do that much work today. I do think I want to start getting into the habit of making definitely the solstices, but even probably the equinoxes as well, like proper holidays in my brain. Like, I take the day, I do some journaling and some reflecting, and I don't treat it like a regular work day. So I really can't justify taking today completely off. I do need to do some editing work. All that's left on my editing notes for draft 3 really is just a couple things, and I think I can probably get them all done today. And there's 2 things that need corrections and adjustments throughout the whole manuscript. So basically I have to do a word search and go through every chapter where that word appears and then make a couple little tweaks. That is easy but time consuming, so that's what I'm going to work on today. It looks like it's appearing in pretty much every chapter. So I know what needs to be tweaked, so it's really just going to be scrolling through it is what takes the longest. So I'm going to put on some music, I'm going to light a candle, I'm going to probably light the project candle for the project, because I've got a little tiny bit left. This is the London candle by Lit City Candles. I don't think they're in business anymore, unfortunately. I can see the metal wick. This might not actually light anymore. I don't think this is gonna light anymore. I'm gonna have to scoop this out and put it in my wax burner. So I think instead of burning this one, I'm going to light my Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede. Different candle, but still gives me England vibes. And this was the project candle for books 1 through 3, I believe. So we're sticking with the across the pond vibe, if not the specific book project vibe. So I'm gonna light that candle. I've got some mint tea with some fresh mint leaves thrown in as well, just to give me some extra mint. I need some more ice. My ice is melted. But yeah, I'm gonna work on this for, I put in my planner to edit for 1 hour. I was also gonna do some vlog editing. I think I'm gonna push that to tomorrow. I just had 4 tasks on my list for today. Going for my walk, which I've done. Vlog editing for 30 minutes. I'm gonna skip that. I'll just edit the vlog tomorrow. Edit across the pond for 1 hour, and then doing my mid-year check-in in the journal thing that I found. So I wanna get the book editing done first so that I know that's done, and then with whatever energy I have left, I can spend working on doing a mid-year check-in, and we can talk about that. But I really, really, really want to get some book editing done. I didn't do any yesterday. Yesterday was fine. Yesterday I went over to my parents' house, which was lovely. But I went because I was supposed to be getting an oil change for my car, and silly me, I thought, you know, the mechanic offered an online scheduler, so I thought that would be easiest. Apparently their online scheduler is a nightmare and doesn't work properly, and it's been driving them nuts, but they can't get corporate to turn it off for them. And so yeah, I walked in and they're like, yeah, we can't see you. Even though they'd called me the day before, the night before, to say, we see you're on the schedule, we're gonna be busy, but we should still be able to get you in, just checking to make sure that you're okay with leaving it with us for most of the day. And I'm like, that's what always seems to happen, so yeah, that's what I'm prepared to do. So when I showed up at 7:30, like I had scheduled, and was told that they'd had so many walk-ins at 7 o'clock that they now were not accepting anyone else, they were classifying me as a walk-in. I still don't understand it. How am I a random walk-in when you called me last night and you knew I was coming? Like, why not tell one of the random walk-ins that morning that you're not gonna... So I have a new appointment for Monday, so I get to go back on Monday and get my car looked at. And yeah, so that, like, I woke up at 5:30 to be able to be there in time. I didn't get to go for a walk because there wasn't time to go for a walk and then get to the mechanics in time. I rearranged my whole morning, and I didn't get my car done. Like, it would have all been fine and it would have all been worth it if I could have gotten my car sorted out. But now I've got to go back on Monday. So it was still a nice day. Mom and I went to World Market. We stocked up on all of our favorite World Market things. And then we went to the same place that I'd mentioned in my like recap in the first vlog post London, Fabio on Fire. We got some more paninis and some more gelato, so that was really nice. I ended up taking a nap on the couch while we were watching House Hunters International. And so yeah, we had a really nice day. It just wasn't how the day was supposed to go, and I didn't get any editing done. So I vlogged on Monday. Tuesday I didn't get any editing done either because Tuesday was a really busy day. I had another long video call that just went for like 4 hours, and then I had a vlog to edit for Wednesday, and so it just felt like that's all my brain could handle as far as work, because between the call and the vlog editing it was like 6 hours. There was no mental capacity left for editing, so I don't want to take another day off editing. If I can do this work for the next hour, I don't have my phone on me, but I can set a timer on my watch. I'm gonna set a timer for 1 hour. I've got a timer going there, so 1 hour. So just before 2 o'clock, we'll see how much of this editing I have gotten done and how close we are to copy editing. Alright, I still have just over 15 minutes left to my timer, and I think I am officially done with draft 3, which is very exciting. So I think I'm ready to start copy editing tomorrow. That will be a separate vlog. I think I might vlog tomorrow so we can vlog the beginning of copy editing, which will be very exciting. So yeah. Oh, where's my, I minimized it, but I can cross that off my list in the publishing calendar section. Finish developmental edits / edit draft 3. I can cross that off now. Number 1 on a list of things that's like 30 items long is done. 1 down, a million more to go. So editing has gone well. I have finished right on track. I had wanted to be done with draft 3 by tomorrow and starting copy editing by tomorrow. So I have finished copy editing. Not going to close out Scrivener because tomorrow I will probably take one last look at it and then save everything. I don't have to do that, but I probably will save like a draft 3 before I start copy editing. I do tend to like to save different drafts. Like I save my outline before I start writing the first draft. I like to save the first draft before I start doing all the developmental edits. Then I'll do like draft 2, draft 3, however many developmental edit passes it needs. And then I like to save like the final draft before copy editing, and then I save the copy edit draft, and then I save the proofread draft, and then I have the final draft. And so even though in Scrivener I have the different snapshots that are taken, which I do like the snapshot feature on Scrivener, I do that as well. I like having Word files of different drafts, and I'll save them even though I don't use Microsoft Word generally for my writing. I will save all of my various copies as Word docs because that is the most common format. I could save them as text files, but I feel like Microsoft Word, like even if like Microsoft Word, you always have access to that. Google Docs can open Microsoft Word files. So I just want to know that if something happened to my computer and I didn't have access to Scrivener, I could still open some form of my draft. So that's why I will save my outlines and different drafts in Microsoft Word. Because even though I also have copies of my books in Scrivener and copies of my books in Vellum, you can only open those files in Scrivener or Vellum. And so if I'm working on a computer where I don't have those programs, then I can't open it. And I never want to be in a position where I can't open one of my drafts. But yeah, anyway, we're done with draft 3. We're moving forward. Forward. That's what matters. So I'm going to minimize Scrivener. I'm probably going to keep this candle going because I do like this candle, and I've also been using this candle just for planning sessions. And then I have my 2024 Unravel Your Year workbook by Susanna Conway, but then she's also done, which I did at the beginning of the year, but then she's also done a 2024 Unravel Your Year mid-year check-in. So I'm going to put on a different music soundtrack thing on YouTube, and I want to go through what I kind of set out at the beginning of the year and what I have wanted to do and like what's left, and go through the prompts in the mid-year check-in. I didn't do anything like this last year, but again, I feel like probably because last year for summer solstice, Mom and I were up in Prescott the whole day hiking. But I do think on or around the summer solstice, I want to, like kind of this last week of June, I think is a good time to do some sort of mid-year check-in, reflective journaling, just going through what I put in my start of the year journal prompts, whether it's Unravel Your Year by Susanna or the Year Compass, which is another journal I like using. I just think it's a good idea, and I don't do it often enough. I usually just forget about it and get distracted, and I feel like last year I was really busy with a lot of work stuff, but like book stuff and things, but I think it's really important to remind ourselves of the goals that we set at the beginning of the year, the dreams, the wishes, the intentions, the hopes, and have some sort of check-in at the middle of the year. Also, I think quarterly, which is why I'm thinking I do want to start making the solstices and the equinoxes just a little bit more intentional for doing some of this reflective work. And I think starting on the winter solstice in December, which is before Christmas, it's like December 20th or 21st, like starting from that point until the end of the year is a good time to be going through a lot of these journals and prompts and like really thinking back through the year and not saving it until the very, very, very end of the year. I'm feeling reflective today, is long story short. So I figured I would do a little bit of journaling and look back at how far I've come and what I have left to do, and also evaluate of the things that are left, how many of them feel that important, like feel important enough to like keep them as goals for the rest of the year, and some of them maybe I'm willing to move them to next year. Maybe they're just not as important for this year as I thought. So we will have to see. So like I said, I'm going to put on some sort of relaxing music to just get me in the right mood. I'm nice and cozy in my little office space with the curtains, you know, the blackout curtains. It really does make this corner of the office. It looks bright behind me, right? But in this corner of the office, it just feels really like dark and cozy, like dark but like lit by lamps and candles and like really glowy and cozy, and I'm kind of liking that. So yeah, anyway, that's enough of that rambling. Let's get reflecting and mid-year checking in and see how this goes. Okay, I think I'm done. That's taken me over an hour. Started by going back through my Unravel Your Year, which looked back at 2023 and then set some goals and intentions for 2024. So looking back through those, the words I chose for the year were imperfect, cozy, and magical. Definitely feel like I've been living up to that. It just was so, it felt so important for imperfect to be, that's my main word. Cozy and magical I feel like are my words for life. Like I just want my life to be cozy and magical. So I feel like those will be the words that I just choose. Like there's always going to be like words I put on journals like this, but imperfect was like the big guiding word, especially like in terms of how I approach work stuff. And I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job with that. I noted down at the beginning of the year that I need to let myself do things without the pressure of doing it perfectly. I also need more cozy, magical joy in my daily life. Finding joy in the little moments, kind of a thing. Not overthinking or overanalyzing, not hyper-focusing and constantly tweaking things instead of just finishing it and letting it go, because nothing is ever perfect. So my problem is I overthink, I overanalyze, I hyper-focus, and I will edit and tweak things forever because it has to be perfect. And I feel like so far with Across the Pond 4, I'm doing a pretty good job of acknowledging like this is as good as I can make it right now. with how my brain is. Could I do a better job of this in 3 years' time? Probably. Do I want to wait 3 years to publish this book? Absolutely not. Every book is the best that I can do in that moment in time when I am publishing it. One of the questions back in January was, what one thing could you do daily to anchor your words in your routine? And I said being more clear about what the expectations for something are and not getting swept away in an idealized version of what an end product or end outcome would look like. I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job of that, but I feel like I need to write that on a sticky note so that I can see that. I do this a lot with work, like my teaching work, where the expectations will be here, but I feel like I have to be here, especially if it's something I'm submitting to any of my supervisors. And the feedback I will frequently get is that what I've done is above and beyond what they were expecting. So I need to lower my personal expectations and focus on what the actual expectations are. And same thing with my books. I'll get way too carried away with what I think the final end product of one of my books should be like, that the cover should be better and the editing should be stronger and everything should be better somehow. And it's like, but then it wouldn't be my book. Then it, you know, I'm comparing my books to other authors. And it's like, but then it's their book. It's not my book anymore. So glad I'm rereading this, because that was pretty good. I need to remain clear about what the expectations are and not get swept away in an idealized version. I get distracted by that, and then it just creates so much stress. What are you looking forward to? I thought these were things I couldn't say when I shared some of this back in January. But what are you looking forward to in 2024? There are so many things I'm hoping will happen, but I'm trying not to have too many expectations. If the London trip happens, that will be amazing. And of course it did happen. At the time I was filling this out, we hadn't booked it yet. What are you feeling apprehensive about? I'm definitely apprehensive about traveling for so many reasons. I really hope the London trip happens, but I'm also nervous about flying and then being in London and traveling since COVID, and just there's a lot of anxiety about that. But if the trip happens, I'm just going to take it moment by moment and enjoy everything while it lasts. And I did that. You know, it didn't go perfectly. It didn't go according to plan. I got really bad blisters on my feet. I definitely had sore feet from just all the walking. I was lucky to not have a lot of back pain or hip pain. I did have shoulder pain from carrying my Longchamp tote. What areas of your life are you ready for change and growth? I'm ready to step out of my bubble a little bit, which is why, despite my nerves, I really hope Mom and I go to London, because I really need this trip. That was so true. And like, it's funny, I do feel like my world has expanded just a little bit. Like, even since being back, there's stuff that I just feel a lot more comfortable doing. I'm forcing myself to get out of the comfortable bubble I've created here in my apartment. Like, going for my morning walks even though it's hot, going out and running errands just for the sake of getting out, like not letting the errands pile up, but like if I need something at the store, running and getting it without having to have a million other things on my list. Like, it seems so little, but I feel like throughout the early years of the pandemic, I got too comfortable in the safety and security of my own home, and I need to be getting out and doing things more, and seeing people, my friends and stuff, more. What else did I write? 3 books you can't wait to read this year. I read one of them, Hannah's Daughters. Loved it. The new Deborah Harkness novel comes out in just a couple weeks, I think, so I'm still excited about that. And I put down North and South, which is on my shelf. I need to read that. I might read that this autumn, but I will definitely read that this year. I like this question. This is something I definitely need to focus on more. I feel like I'm going to go over the mid-year check-in thing in a moment. I'm still looking back at what I wrote back in January, and I think I need to write some of these things down so that I don't forget them. But one of the questions was, how could you bring more love into your life this year? And I said, I want to bring more love to myself. I want to romanticize my life more and feel even happier and more content in my own company. I want to go out on dates with myself more time exploring bookshops, going out for coffee with a book or to write, getting dinner for myself, either eating out on the patio or taking it home, just little things that feel special and fun. And I don't feel like I've been doing some of that, but not as much as I could. And I definitely think like throughout the rest of the summer, I feel like my problem in the spring and fall when I'm teaching is I'm so busy that when I have time off, I don't want to leave. I just want to stay home and relax on the couch. But my problem is during the summer, it's so hot. I don't want to leave. But I really can, even if it's just like once a week or every other week, take myself on like a bookshop date. I might do that when Deborah Harkness's book comes out, like actually go to a physical bookshop to buy it and then going out to a physical coffee shop to read it. I think that would be really fun. I have gone out and gotten dinner for myself, so I can definitely continue doing that. But yeah, finding more little things that feel special and fun just because I'm worth it and I should do those things for myself. So I think that's it from that journal. So looking at the mid-year check-in, some things that I feel like are worth sharing with all of you, because there were some things that popped up as I was working on this that I thought, this would be worth sharing. One of the things I definitely need to work on, so one of the questions in the mid-year check-in was which aspects of your routine need to be reassessed, and basically all of them. I'm now waking up so much earlier than I ever have. I'm waking up, my first alarm goes off at 5:30. I'm out of bed usually by 5:45, sometimes closer to 6, especially if I'm not gonna go for a walk that morning, like if I'm going to Whole Foods or something. I will finally get out of bed at like 6, but I'm waking up at 5:30 and I'm going to sleep between 9 and 9:30. Like 9 is what I aim for, but like last night, I think I turned out my lights at 9:18 or something like that. So it just feels like my whole routine needs to be adjusted, especially once this semester starts. I'm really hoping that being awake that early will give me more time to like go for a walk or go for a morning hike and do some writing before I have to start my teaching work. But I also need a stronger evening routine to make sure that I stick with going to bed that early in the fall, because I feel like one of my problems is revenge procrastination. Is that what it's called? Where you stay up late to like get back time you feel like you lose during the day from working so much. Like I need to make sure that I'm not letting my bedtime creep backwards and later. So I'm gonna need a really good evening routine. Thankfully, I think I need to decide when I'm doing my office hours, but I should be leaving campus no later than 5 p.m. So like by the time I get to my car and I'm actually driving away from campus, it'll be like 5:15. So I should be home by 6. So, but that's still then by the time I take a shower and get dinner, then suddenly it's, 7:30, and then going to bed by 9, I'll end up only having like an hour or so to like watch TV and just totally chill out. I usually need more time to decompress, so we'll just have to see. But I definitely need a really solid evening routine, and I need a better work routine during the day, both during the summer, like right now, for writing and YouTube and my coaching and freelance work, but then in the fall when teaching starts, I'll need a routine for all of those things, but adding teaching back in as the main priority. So my whole routine needs to be completely re-examined. One of the questions was, what made you feel proud of yourself in the first 6 months? And I said, getting on the plane. I'm so glad I faced my fear of flying and got on the plane. I know it will help with flying solo next year if I can afford to go back and visit Tamsin. I really cannot overestimate how afraid I was. Like there was a moment, I think I mentioned this in the vlogs, but there was a moment sitting at the Phoenix airport next to Mom, and I felt like I was going to crawl out of my skin. I was so anxious. I was so nervous. And she looked at me and she could see how anxious I was, and she's like, you might have to decide if this is all really worth it, like continuing to travel, if this is how anxious you're gonna get. And I'm like, Mom, that's not an option. Like, I'm not gonna not travel. So I need to figure it out. And like, even on the plane as we were waiting for takeoff, it was so bad, and I was like starting to cry a bit because I was just thinking, I don't think I could do this if my mom wasn't sitting next to me right now. But my mom's not always going to be able to fly with me. So like, I need to be able to do this by myself. And so I know next year, if I can get the funds in order to be able to do another trip next summer, I know the flight is going to be so, I'm getting emotional. Honestly, I could cry just thinking about next year. Like, I can feel how I'm going to feel. I can feel that anxiety. Flight anxiety. Flight anxiety, if you don't have it, if you don't struggle with it, I don't think you could fully understand how it feels. I mean, maybe if you have some other similar anxiety about something else, but like, it's one of the few things that, you know, like, I have anxiety about other stuff. I have health anxiety, I have new doctor anxiety, but those things I can all handle. Those things I know are like in my head. But the flying anxiety, there are things about flying that are scary, and there are scenarios in my head that are legitimately terrifying that most likely won't happen. Like, statistically, the odds of these things happening are so minimal. I am far more likely to get into a massive accident on the highway driving to work every day for a month straight, right? Like, the odds of that are much higher than the odds of any of these worst case scenarios in my head. But it's such a primal fear that everything in my body is saying, do not do it. And so even though my head is like, but England, my body is like, but no. And so I know flying solo next year is going to feel impossible. But I have to do it. And so, as stupid as it might sound to some people, when I say I'm so proud of myself for getting on that plane, I did it once. I'm gonna try to do it again. Okay, stop crying. Okay, although this is probably gonna make me cry even more. So then the next page, the prompt was, fill this page with things you're grateful for, aim for at least 50, don't overthink it. I crossed out things you're grateful for and typed in moments of magic. Fill this page with moments of magic. Because as I've discussed earlier in the year, tweaking my gratitude practice and reframing it, not as things I'm grateful for, but things, little moments of magic, joy, happiness, just the truly little simple things in life that make me happy, bring me joy, make me feel grateful. So some of these things are things that I would traditionally think of as putting on a gratitude list. Like, I'm grateful for my amazing friends. I'm grateful, one of the things in here is my incredible online community. All of you people, I'm so grateful for all of you. Another thing, I'm just gonna say it now so I can stop crying. I'm so grateful for every second spent with Lexi. Not just at the beginning of this year, but in the entire time that we had her. I was going back through my planner because I had, at the beginning of the year, I kind of stopped in April because I kind of stopped using my planner for a bit towards the end of the semester. But at the beginning of the year, I was writing in the bottom of my planner my moments of magic. I was just keeping a running list each day. So for Tuesday, February 6th, cloudy morning, getting home early, cozy night, rain, so much rain today. And then the next day, puppy snuggles. And so back in February, that would have been both Gus and Lexi. Laughing with Mom, fresh biscuits and stew, clouds and an amazing rainbow, laughing with Lisa and Mom, cozy night, and a cold apartment. I love when my apartment is cold because it's never cold. So it always feels so warm. So I was looking back through all the pages where I had written down some moment of magic and was adding a lot of those to the list. I think I've ended up with well over 50, but in big font at the bottom I put every second spent with Lexi. But then there's lots of little things, right? So the Palo Verde trees blooming, silver puffs and hedgehog cactus blooms that I saw along the hiking trails, desert wildflowers popping up, notes from mom in my planner, because she loves to leave little notes in my planner when she comes over to get me for Whole Foods if I'm not ready yet. She sneaks over to my desk and hides messages. It's basically the adult equivalent of when your mom left you notes in your lunchbox. Pink sunsets, booking the flight to London, hours spent writing, lazy afternoons reading, ground floor parking spots. I was always grateful for that at work. Time with my friends in the office, starting new book projects, almost finishing other projects, cozy nights at home, new iPhone, turning 43, birthday lunch with the girls, moonrise hikes. There are a few things from the trip: Pim's cups, oat milk iced lattes, the magic of Blenheim Palace, especially the gardens, Percy pigs and dairy milk, not together. That would be weird. The beauty of York Minster, watching the world go by out a train or plane window. And the last thing I added was my magical little life. One of you in the comments of, I think it was the first vlog post London, was kind of reassuring me that most of you don't watch these vlogs for the exciting things like London. You enjoy those, but that's not why you're here primarily. That you are here because of the life that I have. And I said in my reply to her that, you know, I'm very grateful for all of you who both enjoy watching my videos but also remind me that there is magic in my little life, and that though my life seems little and it seems quiet and it doesn't seem as exciting as everyone else's, it's my little life. It's the only life I'm gonna have. I need to make sure that while I can go to London or, you know, anywhere in England, I can go run off and have this amazing trip, and I can have dreams for what my life could one day evolve into. This is the life I have right now, and I'm trying really hard post-trip to not be wishing away all this time between now and next summer when I hopefully will be able to go back. Looking at this list just reminds me that I have so many little things that are magical and cozy and wonderful about my life here, and that's what I need to focus on. The last question, because I thought this might help just give you all something to kind of think about. The last question was, by the end of 2024 I will know ... and you finish the sentence. And I said, by the end of 2024 I will know a lot of things I don't know now. And then I added, that sounds like a snarky answer, but it's true. I don't know what I will know by the end of this year. There's so much I'm still learning and so much that's changing. Answering this question now feels like either selling myself short or limiting my options. I have no idea what I'll know by the end of 2024, but I can't wait to find out. There are definitely things that I have done throughout the first 6 months of this year that I didn't know I would do, or that I didn't know would turn out quite the way they did. And if I had tried to say I'm going to do this, this, and this year, I might have missed out on some things. There's stuff that I want to do and stuff that I want to have as a focus throughout the rest of this year, but I'm also learning to just go with the flow a little bit and just see what happens. Be more flexible and adaptable in the moment, and not get stressed when things don't go according to the rigid way I've tried to plan them. Whew, that got more emotional than I thought it was going to. If you've done a mid-year check-in, I'd love to know if there have been any little gems or words of wisdom or interesting discoveries that you've made along the way. If you haven't done one, I would recommend doing it. If you sat down at the beginning of the year and did any reflective writing or made a list of goals for this year, I think it's always a good idea to go back to the beginning and take a look at that. It's never too late to change your plans and change your goals, and if things aren't working for you, change them, and there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if things are working, you know, keep going, keep working towards the things that are important to you. But yeah, I'm gonna go rest now. I'm not gonna get any work. I mean, it's almost 5 o'clock now because I've been talking for way too long. I did not intend for this section of the vlog to become the majority of this vlog, but there we are. So I think I'm gonna go, I think I'm gonna go read for like 30 minutes. I'm gonna put one of the videos I've been watching on my laptop. I'll put that on my TV screen. And yeah, I think I want to go read for a bit because I've not been reading, and that is something I wrote somewhere in here that I want to do more reading because I've let that slide. Starting in like April, I just was not reading that much, and yeah, there's a lot of reading I want to do this summer, so I need to be getting back into a regular daily reading routine and reading habit. So I'm gonna go do that, and then we will figure something. I've got leftovers for dinner. That's what we will do for dinner. That was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. But yeah, I'm gonna go rest now and just let some of that stuff percolate in my brain and just think about it all. It is now past 8:30, so I need to wrap up this vlog and go get in bed. I just need to wrap everything up out here for the evening. It's been a lovely evening. I popped out onto the balcony just a few minutes before sunset. It was really hazy and dusty, so it wasn't the prettiest sunset for summer solstice, but it was beautiful this morning, so at least I had that. But yes, we have made it through the longest day of the year. The days will now ever so slightly start to get shorter and shorter and shorter again. So it's been a lovely summer solstice. So I'm excited for us to get through summer and then get to autumn. I'm really excited for autumn, I won't lie. I enjoyed summer, what felt like summer when I was in England. Like, that felt like how summer should feel. But summer back here, it's a whole different beast. My air conditioning is just turned off, and it's just this feeling of, and I can breathe. I honestly think if I lived in an apartment or a home where the air conditioning wasn't so loud, summer wouldn't be as unbearable as it is. So I'm only on like 3.5 months of having the air conditioning on, but it's going to be on until all of July, August, September, October, and I might be able to turn it off in November. So I'm not even quite halfway through air conditioning season, and I am already so done. And I also have just heard a huge gust of wind outside. I wonder if we might be getting some sort of wind dust storm. Yeah, wind is picking up. We're not gonna get rain. We're not gonna get rain, but we are gonna get some wind, which means we'll get some dust. Yay. Anyway, time to wrap up this vlog. I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. Apologies for getting a little bit emotional earlier, but you know, sometimes when you do that reflective work, stuff gets stirred up. But I'm really glad I did it. I definitely want to make this a habit every summer. I just think doing a mid-year check-in is a really good idea, and giving myself an excuse and a reason to go back and look at all the journaling I did back in January and remind myself of some of the things, and like remind myself of some of the, you know, things I wanted to do and accomplish, things I'd put on my vision board, I've already done. Like, England was a huge part of my vision board, or my mood board. I prefer mood board. So England was a huge part of my mood board. As far as like material items, iPhone 15, that was on my mood board. Done that. Check that off. Very excited and happy about that purchase, and it's still going really well. So yeah, like, I've done a lot. I've made a lot of progress. There are some things that I'm still working on, but there are other things that in some ways are more important, and I'm doing really well on those things. And so yeah, feeling very happy and proud of myself overall. So yeah, let me know if you've done a mid-year check-in or if you're going to do one. Let me know as well whether you're doing a mid-year check-in or not. Let me know like 1 or 2 goals that you had set for this year that you have accomplished or have made significant progress on in the first half of the year. And those can be personal goals or work goals. What were some intentions that you set for yourself back in January that you've made progress on or you've successfully completed? I would like to know. So let's share our first half of 2024 wins. I would like to hear them in the comments. For me, I definitely feel like it was the fact that I got on that plane and went and had such an amazing time in England. That is definitely going to be the highlight of the whole year, even though there's still half a year left. So yeah, I'd love to know your mid-year wins in the comments. Leave me a planner or calendar related emoji or a check mark for mid-year check-in. So those are your emoji instructions, should you choose to accept them, to let me know which of you lovely people have made it all the way to the end of this vlog. And I'm gonna go, but I think I'm gonna pick up the vlogging camera tomorrow, so I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. And thank you very much for watching this one. Oh, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. I'd really, really appreciate it, and it would mean the world to me, and you're amazing, and I adore you all, and I will see you all soon. Bye!